There is a quiet voice inside all of us. It speaks before we act, before we choose, before we retreat or reach forward. It does not shout. It whispers, and yet, this voice shapes our entire lives. Aron Beck believed that human suffering does not begin with events. It begins with interpretation, with meaning, with the private sentences we repeat so often that they start to feel like truth. You do not react to the world as it is. You react to the world as you think it is. And this simple idea changed psychology forever. Part 1. The birth of cognitive theory. Before Aron Beck, psychology focused heavily on behavior or buried memories. People were either conditioned by their environment or ruled by unconscious forces. But Beck noticed something different. While working with depressed patients, he observed that they were not empty or silent inside. Their minds were loud, filled with statements like, "I'm not good enough. Nothing will ever change. This is my fault." These were not conclusions reached through logic. They were automatic thoughts, instant, reflexive interpretations of reality. Beck realized something radical. People weren't depressed because their lives were terrible. Their lives felt terrible because of how they were thinking. Thoughts were not passive reflections. They were active creators of emotional reality. Part 2. Automatic thoughts, the invisible narrator. Automatic thoughts happen instantly. They arrive uninvited. You don't choose them. They are the mental narrator that comments on everything you experience. You walk into a room and think, "They don't like me." You make a mistake and think, "I always mess things up." You feel tired and think, "I'm weak." And because these thoughts arrive so fast, we mistake them for facts. But Beck taught us something crucial. A thought is not a truth. It is a hypothesis. Yet most of us never question the narrator. We obey it. And over time, these thoughts shape our behavior. We avoid. We withdraw. We give up. We settle. Not because we are incapable, but because we believe we are. Part 3. Cognitive distortions. When the mind lies convincingly, Beck identified patterns in these thoughts, predictable ways the mind distorts reality. He called them cognitive distortions. Not because people are broken, but because the mind, when unexamined, prioritizes survival over truth, all or nothing thinking. If I fail once, I'm a failure. Life becomes black or white. No gray, no growth, no learning. This mistake will ruin everything. The mind jumps to the worst-case scenario and treats it like destiny. Mind reading. They must think I'm stupid. We assume we know what others think, and it's almost always cruel. This always happens. I never get it right. One moment becomes an identity. These distortions do not feel dramatic. They feel reasonable. That is what makes them dangerous. Part 4. The cognitive triad, the 3 pillars of suffering. At the core of Beck's theory is the cognitive triad. 3 beliefs that shape emotional pain. 1. Negative view of the self. I am flawed. I am unworthy. 2. Negative view of the world. The world is unfair, hostile, rejecting. 3. negative view of the future. Nothing will get better. When these three beliefs align, behavior follows. Motivation collapses. Hope erodes. Action feels pointless. The future isn't approached, it's avoided. And slowly, a person begins living less. Part 5. Core beliefs, the deep roots. Automatic thoughts grow from core beliefs. Core beliefs are conclusions we form early in life. I am unlovable. I am unsafe. I am not enough. They are shaped by childhood, trauma, rejection, and silence. Once formed, the mind seeks evidence to confirm them. Not because they are true, but because familiarity feels safer than uncertainty. Behavior bends around these beliefs. You don't try because failure feels inevitable. You accept less because you believe you deserve less. You sabotage closeness because abandonment feels certain. The belief writes the script. The behavior performs it. Part 6. Changing thoughts to change behavior. Beck did not believe in positive thinking. He believed in accurate thinking. Cognitive change begins with one radical act: questioning the mind. Is this thought 100% true? What evidence supports it? What evidence contradicts it? What would I say to a friend thinking this? As thoughts soften, behavior shifts. Avoidance becomes curiosity. Fear becomes experimentation. Self-criticism becomes self-observation. Change does not happen through force. It happens through awareness. Part 7. Why this theory matters. Cognitive theory gives us responsibility, but also power. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. You can interrupt the pattern. You can rewrite the script. You can loosen beliefs that once felt permanent. Thoughts shape behavior. Behavior shapes identity. Identity shapes destiny. Change the thought, and the future bends. Aron Beck taught us something deeply human. You are not broken. Your mind learns strategies to survive. But survival is not the same as living. And the moment you question a thought, you reclaim authorship over your life. Not by fighting the mind, but by listening more carefully. Because the most powerful transformation is not changing the world. It is changing the meaning you give it.